Did you know in China they call Chinese food food? Anyways, leagues reveal some crazy stuff just happened. The November 21st combat relics have just been dropped. This is insane. We got 3 combat relics to look at. I'm going to break down everything that I know as of now on how these relics work. What kind of DPS are they going to be? What is the new max hit in RuneScape? Is this the highest hit that we've ever seen? I will break all of that down. There will be timestamps for you to skip forward to get to the part that you want to talk or see about me talk about, and all that kind of stuff. If you enjoy the daily leagues content, drop a like, hit the subscribe, put a comment down below. Like, come on, the easy topic today is which of these 3 are you picking and why? Put a comment on that. I love to read those. I will answer them and all that good stuff. And then the Discord. Yesterday, I pointed people in the direction of joining my Discord so that we can talk leagues and you can see my starting strategy. My Discord bot broke and said, hey, you have unusual activity, too many people joining. So appreciate everybody who joined yesterday. Let's try and break the Discord again today if you want to hop in with some boys and just chat about leagues. Okay, without further ado, we're jumping into it. 3 new relics. We've got the very cool looking things for it. This is a callback to a previous one, but this looks cool as heck. This is a face with a fire. Like, come on, you love that stuff. Okay. Last Stand. What is Last Stand? It is incredible. If damage would reduce you to 0 HP, you are instead reduced to 1 HP. That means you can't die. You're not going to die. You won't die. If you die, you don't die. That's essentially this whole relic. Pack it up, move on, just pick it anyways. It's awesome. But there's more to it that makes this incredibly fun. Your combat stats are instantly boosted to 255, but begin draining rapidly back down to their base level. That's insane. 255, and then you'll be able to smack something and do a really big number. And big numbers are fun. That's why this relic is fun. For the next 16 ticks after the ability is activated, you cannot be reduced to 0 HP. So if you die, if you hit 0 HP, it goes back up to 1, and then you will have 16 ticks or 9.6 seconds where you can't take damage. You literally won't take damage. All incoming damage will be nullified during that phase, and you will be healed based on the damage that you dealt over the last 16 ticks. So basically, you're going to go down to 1 HP. You have 9.6 seconds to do as much damage as possible, starting at 255 stats, going down to, it'll actually land you at 114 stats, confirmed by JMOD. And then at that point, I mean, you could repot and whatever else, but you'll just be doing so much damage and you can't die. Think of the use case scenarios. We're going to get into those later on in the video. Once the ability is used, it cannot be used again until you die or 3 minutes have passed. This relic is the same as last league. We had the Martyrdom relic, where if you died, it would just do 250 damage or something like that. It did 200 damage, and it would reset your stats to full HP. So this is a very good twist on that previous relic, and I love what they've done with it. We will go significantly further into detail on this one shortly. I'll just get through these other 2 first. Guardian. This is just a repeat from last league. So you get a Guardian Horn. It's an item in your inventory. When you click it, it summons a Guardian Thrall, which lasts 30 minutes. The Guardian will attack your target with whatever style it is weak to. When you're in multi-combat, it will hit an AoE attack if the target is weak to range or magic. So it'll hit multiple targets if you're in range of hitting multiple people. The max hit is 13. The minimum hit is 5. So the actual DPS on this is 7.5 damage average divided by the 4 tick attack speed. So you're essentially just getting a handful of extra DPS with this one, but 0 effort, like literally no effort. And that's just if it's only hitting one thing. If it's hitting multiple things, this is very strong. Picture like the Baba room in TOA. It's very strong for that. But in terms of fun, if it's fun for you to click the thing and not think about it, then that's good for you. If you want to be able to hit big number, then Last Stand's the one for you. The third option, I guess one last thing, it does not work in PvP, but it does work inside the Gauntlet, which is a huge, nice little buff. Okay, the third relic here, Specialist. All special attacks cost 20% and will have a 100% accuracy increase. So that they're not going to miss. You're not going to miss. You're just not going to miss. It's basically what it is. But 20%. So you can spec 5 times in a row with anything in the game, no matter what. If it was 20, if it was a DDS that uses 25, well, now it uses 20. If it was Dragon Claws that uses 50, well, now it's 20. For each failed accuracy roll with a special attack, you actually get 10% spec back. So if you do end up hitting a 0, then you actually do get some of that. So you get half back. You get a little 50% return on that. So whenever you kill an NPC, you restore 15% special attack energy. So that's very cool. Nice little bonus to it. So this relic, the way this relic works is you aren't going to have unlimited specs, but you're going to have a lot of specs. If you're doing like a Slayer task, you're basically going to be speccing quite frequently. You'll spec, it'll take 20, you'll kill the thing, it'll give you 15 back. You spec again, 15 back, boom, boom, boom. If you're picking desert and you're rocking a light bear with this and your specs restoring very quickly, very good. If you're throwing on death charge every 60 seconds, maybe you pick grimoire so that you can use death charge, then you're going to get a lot of spec back. The pros of this is that there's some very good items for spec. We've got the dog sword. We've got the Khopesh. The Khopesh's spec, I'm going to click into it. I should have shown the dog sword too, but I mean, we all know it at this point. The Khopesh has a special attack. Here it is. Passive attack. What am I looking at? It's down. Where is it? Special attack. The Thunder Khopesh has a special attack which consumes 50% of the wielder's special attack energy. Well, no, it's going to use 20 now. The spec will perform 2 standard attacks in succession. If either is successful, an additional lightning bolt is summoned and rolls up to 100% of the max hit. So picture a dragon dagger that has 110 slash bonus and 100 strength bonus. So this is 10% better than a Blade of Saildor. And then it's going to hit big number. It's going to hit like 60s or something. And then the spec will make it so that you hit 3 times. So 60, 120, 180. You're going to hit a lot of numbers with this. So the Khopesh, don't sleep on the Khopesh for this. When we look at the dog sword, this bad boy here, the dog, it's a god sword. It's going to have the max hit of an Armadyl god sword, and it's also going to reduce defense. So if it has, if you're killing it for a little bit, it's good to reduce defense. If you're just one-shotting it, then that won't matter. But here's the other thing: is it will restore your hit points in prayer as well with the Seradarma God Sword. And then this one will give you 25 hit points. So if you are picking Specialist and you're going the Dog Sword Asgarnia route, you won't need food, basically, because the Dog Sword's going to heal you. It's going to give you prayer. You won't need to take Banker's Note for any, like, instanced PVM. You're going to be able to take that last Total Recall boy there and use that. And then also Total Recall resets your spec to 100%. So the synergy between that is very good. Now, I am now going to give you a warning. I have taken this relic in the past, and it was fun. And I've seen people who took it the most recently, and it's at the point where, do you really want to be clicking your spec orb every 2 ticks? Just constantly speccing? Or do you want to stand back and just kill stuff and worry about other mechanics and things like that? Like, imagine you're fighting an Echo boss, and there's mechanics and there's stuff's happening, flying all over the place, and you're just worried about speccing constantly over and over and over again. It's very good, but if you don't want to be clicking and worrying about spec for the next 2 months of a league, don't take this one. It will be very fun. It will be very high damage per second and stuff like that. Guardian will be good. What do we got here? Guardian is so much passive damage without doing anything. She even tags Jad healers for you, mostly. So the Guardian's good. But guys, I don't think anything stacks up against Last Stand. The fun that can be had with this, plus the friendly towards noobs, including myself. If you die in RuneScape, then you basically are just given a safety net. You can't, if you're worried about Zuck, you don't need to anymore, because this thing will just give you a second life. So let's look at that DPS of, this thing will boost your strength or your magic level to 255. That is a big number. It will only be there for a fraction of a second, and then it will go down rather quickly. We can actually look up and see, if you look at right on the right side of the screen here, it'll show you how fast that goes down. 255, 220, 210, 200, 190, 180, 170, 160, 150. It goes down quite quickly. You've got 9.6 seconds where you are not able to take damage and just do as much damage as possible. And during that time, about half of that time, you will have insanely boosted stats. The thing is, though, right when you proc that thing, hit something, and you'll get a huge hit that you've never seen in RuneScape before. So this is what the hit could be. I've gone and I've run the calcs. We've got the tier 6 relics. We've got the regions as well. If I there we go, shrink that down, you can see the regions. So this is a Fremi Asgarnia Mauritania build. You got the salve, the full DH, the Barrows glove thingies. What are they called? Gloves of the Damned. You got the cool squiggle ring. Max hit 373 against bloat. Now this is actually what you will do for bloat is you're going to step in and just click on bloat and then put your hands behind your head, lean back in your chair, and watch your character just do hundreds and thousands of damage in like 9 seconds. And you can't die. Bloat will be trying to hit you. You just won't be able to die. Now there is bloat has that reduced damage while it's not while it's still awake or whatever, but you could time it so that it goes down while you die. Like get flied, go in, and then it goes down, whatever. If you're a high-end PVMer, you'll know what to do. But yeah, the max hit is 373. Now the echoes, when you factor in echoes have a 10% chance to generate an echo hit, or melee hits have a 10% chance to generate a melee hit. So it's 50% of your max hit. It goes up to, they have a 20% chance to generate, and you can go up to 8 times in a row. So an echo hit, the math on it is essentially that it'll double your hit if all 8 of them hit, but the likelihood of all 8 of them hitting is very low because it's 20% times 20% times 20% times, like it's rare to hit that. But those final few echoes, echoes 5, 6, 7, and 8, they don't add much damage anyways. It's the first echo that you want to add. So the 20% chance to do up to half of your max hit, and then another 20% to do another half of that. So that's when you can get a lot of your damage just early on there. So the max with the echoes is 746 damage. Again, if you miss out on the last 2 echoes, that'll still be like 730 something. So this is insane DPS. Your accuracy will be so high. Your average hit will be 220. That's not with echoes. And you'll just be smoking different things. So this works at bloat. I'm going to go into the use cases of Dharok's with this. So a couple of things to think about. If we skip ahead, okay, last stand, I'm skipping, there we go. So this is how last stand, this is some JMOD replies to how last stand works. So first thing, I'm turning range prey on, piety on, and just left clicking bloat with last stand. So that's what Jagex Husky says he's going to do. Like that will work. Mod Rice says, I don't know if it's been clarified yet, but last stand defers all healing until the end of the effect. So you won't heal during this. If you life steal, eat a shark, or whatever else, you stay at 1 HP, and the healing is given at the end of the effect, and there's no overheal from that. So again, that just buffs DH even further. You're going to be able to sit on 1 HP that entire time, and every 3 ticks you hit with DH, it's got a 9.6 second effect, so you can hit 5 times with DH during that time at 1 HP. You're going to be doing big numbers. Do we have a visible timer for last stand so we know when it's up? Yes. Mod Rice says that there will be a timer, not just like a RuneLite plugin that's buggy, it'll be in-game. With the amount of damage you deal, you'd have to int pretty hard not to full heal. So that's good. By the end of, when it ends, you'll get boosted up to 99 HP, and then that gives you time to not die, basically. You get a little red bar above your head during the last stand. It tells you how much HP you're due to heal at the end of the effect. So when the effect ends, however full your red bar is, that's how full your green HP bar will become. So you'll be able to see like, oh, I'm only going to heal 40 health. Like I should probably eat a shark here. How fast is the decay rate on the stats? It's in the video, get your stopwatch out. So we saw that in the video. We saw how quickly it goes down. You'll get a few hits in at plus 200 stats, and then a couple of them will just be still high, and then by the end of it, you'll be doing a couple of hits at just your 115 stats or 114, whatever it is. There's Jagex Husky saying the last stand shadow goes hard with Mage tier 6. So we will get into the Mage build very shortly here. Timestamps if you want to see it. Last stand doesn't reduce you back to base stats. It reduces you back to base plus 15. So yeah, you'll go to 114 stats. And it won't go lower than that. At that point, you probably just sip Super Combat again to get to 118. Okay, where were we? Let's go back to our DPS calculator here. So this is your melee build, and those are the use case scenarios. We've now got the Mage build. Do I want to get into the Mage build yet? I'm going to tease you. Let's say you're doing TOB. This is a melee build with Mauritania, okay? First boss you go into is Maiden. If you don't have Fremenic unlocked, you won't have something to lower your HP with. It's hard to get stuff. Like, you can drop like a potion that does 25 damage. You can do some other things. Rock Cake you couldn't get last league, so maybe they tell us that we can get it this league. But the Locator Orb comes from the Fremenic region, and that is something that does 10 damage to you every tick that you click it. So that's very good for lowering your HP to use DH. Let's just say you're doing a TOB and you want to just do full DH and not do anything else. You just don't care. I'm doing full DH. So you step into Maiden, you run up, you let Maiden hit you, you don't put prayer on, and then when she throws out the blood, just stand in the blood. It'll kill you, and then now you've got 9.6 seconds to do a crap load of damage. Bloat, we already talked about it. Just click on the boss and just keep swinging and see how much damage you can do. Time it so that right as it's about to go down, you do die by like a fly or something, and then you can have that full DPS where you can see the huge numbers of 350s plus. For Nilo, you'd probably want to use, as a safety net in case you die, you'll have the respawn or the, it'll save you, whatever. But when you get to the final boss, that's when you could proc the last stand and use that for some extra damage in the last stand. Soda Seg, you could just run in and let it hit you and don't pray, and it'll kill you and you can use it. Or you can kill yourself on the maze right at the end of the maze and come out and start whacking it. That would be good. Zarpus, obviously you can stand in Venom. And then for the final boss, Verzik, it's very easy to die at Verzik to get that extra damage. But keep in mind, 3-minute cooldown timer. So you might only want to use it once in Verzik, right at the end, to speed up that final phase when the tornadoes are out. That's probably your best bet there. Now, we're going into Mage, okay? For the Mage, we have the Fremenic, Kandarin, and Zaya regions. So you've got the Shadow can come from Zaya because you can get any Mega Rare from any raid. You've got Ancestral, you've got the Fremenic, the Echo boss items there. The Bracelet is very good. It gives 5% damage bonus, which is a lot of percent. If you picked Asgarnia, you'd get Eternal Boots. If you picked Wilderness, you could get a Mage Arena Cape too. But the best one to pick is this Bracelet. So, I mean, if you wanted a different region because you just don't want Kandarin, then feel free to switch that for something else and the damage goes down a little bit. When you die and you're smacking with the Shadow, the first hit will deal up to 297 damage. That could go even higher because the DPS calculator doesn't take into effect this final tier 6 where max hit with magic is increased by 1% for every 100 hit points. So you can go up to 10% higher than that, which is pretty good. And we'll swap back over to here. So the one thing to think about, you're going to start off by hitting 297. You'll hit 297. You'll hit then 250. It's two ticks, so you can deal like 7 hits in this time of immunity. So you'll be hitting 200s. You'll be hitting 150s. It'll be going down, and then it'll be sitting lower. You'll still be hitting hundreds. If we go back to here again, where was it that I wanted to call out? Oh yeah. On a successful magic hit, if your target has less hit points than your max hit, you will max hit. So think of getting a boss down to around that, 500-600 range, and then you let it kill you, and then the mage will hit a big hit, another big hit, and then it'll just hit the max hit guaranteed to kill it. This is a way of executing the boss when it's low HP. So very powerful, very strong. That's why they were saying it goes hard. It goes very hard with this. So yeah, there's a lot of uses for this. Now, as we said, Jagex Husky says Last Stand Shadow goes hard with Mage tier 6. So if you're doing Mage build, then this will be strong. Moving ahead to what would a range build do? So this is pretty much like a max range build at this point. You've got Desert, Fremenic, and Varlamore. So you've got the little backpack thingy. You got Dragon Arrows. You got the full Masori. This is pretty much as good as it gets. If you are 255 range, your max hit with a Tebow will be about 249 on Zuck, for example. So this will hit big numbers too, and then those numbers will go down. But there's nothing wrong with this. The benefit of range is that if you have tier 6, you will hit, never miss. You'll hit through anything, even if it has immunity, full immunity to range. You will hit it regardless. So that's something to think about as well. Moving on, we saw all of these talks about that. I wanted to kind of look at where are we here? Yeah, here was the DPS calculator. So what other uses could we see for Daroks? Not necessarily Daroks, but just melee in general. Like if you're rocking a scythe, you can still hit some huge numbers and hit some unbelievable echoes and stuff like that. But let's say you're doing another boss like Nex. When would you use this? You'd probably use this right near the end of the fight in Nex. Same thing for the Mage, is you could execute Nex, even though it's got immunity to Mage, or Mage doesn't hit very good. You got a lot of accuracy and stuff like that. Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. We've got 2 more reveals left. If you enjoyed this video, slam the like button with your face. Hover your mouse over the like button and then click it with your nose, and I will know, because the nose knows. You know what I'm talking about? We got 2 more reveals. What's it going to be? And I'm excited, guys. We're going to start releasing some more Leagues content here that's, instead of just the analysis of the reveals, we're going to go deep into different builds and setups. So if you don't want to think and you just want to follow what someone else is doing, I will give you an option for Mage, I will give you an option for range, and an option for melee. And then in those options, I will also say which regions you could switch if you just have preference, really. So we'll get into those videos, so subscribe if you want to see those coming out in the next few days. And then if you do want to be able to get through your first region as fast as possible, I've released a guide on 60 tasks in under 60 minutes. That is on my channel as well, and I'll put that link in the top of the description. So I appreciate you all. We'll see you again later with more videos. And dude, this is gonna be so fun. I'm gonna pick Last Stand. I think I'm locking in Last Stand. It's just too good.